kindergartners are taking the first steps toward the biggest journey of their lives so far, learning how to read. It's a journey all of us go on, but for the children of Ontario's far north, the road to literacy isn't easy. That's because for most of the remote communities that make up the Nishnawbe Aski Nation, there are literally no roads connecting them to the rest of Canada. The Nishnawbe Aski Nation is huge, about the size of Greece. And if you want to see it, you're going to have to fly. That's because 26 of the communities are fly-in only. From the air, none, as it's known, looks uninhabitable. But 40,000 people call this region home. It's also become familiar territory to Ruth Ann Onley, wife of Ontario's Lieutenant Governor David Onley.
If you can have a big dream,
she's here to represent his office and a project close to his heart.
As David's mandate in his accessibility for the disabled, it also includes the access to better education that will give those kids up north the options, whether they remain in their communities and serve there and live their lives there, or whether they go out and do other things. But in order to do anything for a good future, they need to have the tools to further their education and dream their big dreams and become what they can become, reach their full potential.
It's a continuation of the mandate set in motion by former Lieutenant Governor James Bartleman, building a bridge to the north via books and education. Hundreds of thousands of books have since been donated. This school in Poplar Hill was one of the recipients. But like many schools in the north, it doesn't have a library, just shelves in the hallway.
There's a shortage of funds, and we really have no space. The classrooms are, we have some library books in the classroom, but we just have what you see in the hallway here. But there's no space for them. The building's so small.
These books are well used here.
the provinces of Canada.
And there are many ways that reading is incorporated into the curriculum, including music. In spite of the efforts, the literacy levels here are well below the national average.
Tests that they've done showed us that our students are 3 to 4 years behind the mainstream students. Some are 2.5 years. And all the students under our school speaking their first language, and once they step inside the school, English is the language of instructions.
Getting these students caught up is part of the Lieutenant Governor's literacy mandate. And that's why the new shift is toward computers. Not only do they aid reading and writing, they also provide accessibility to just about anywhere in the world. These donated laptops are also connecting these students to one another, in this case working on the school yearbook. NAN Grand Chief Stan Beardy is accompanying Ruth Ann Onley to see the computers and give the students a pep talk.
The opportunity you have here today, you have a classroom, a dedicated teacher, a teacher's aide, and a principal, and it's up to you to learn.
I know one teacher.
Principal Howard Comer says he already sees some positive results.
Yes, I'm encouraged because I see students wanting to come. Our retention rate is this year has been over 95%.
Like most northern communities, schools only go to grade 8. Going to high school means leaving home and moving to a larger town. Staying connected is hard, especially since most families don't own computers. That's why the Nishnawbe Aski Nation has lobbied for a multi-million-dollar fiber optic network for 26 remote communities in northern Ontario, among them Kingfisher Lake.
And go into one higher level.
They're not the only ones lobbying on these kids' behalf.
I've been teaching here for 4.5 years, and when I started teaching here, a good portion of the kids, like, they weren't even in a position to send an email. Yeah.
Although it sounds like they're playing video games, the students are learning math. Teacher Susan Dealy says the donated computers are helping students catch up, not only in terms of literacy, but technology.
I think it's total educational advancement, technological advancement, and it's necessary. to stay equal with other parts of the world.
Still, these computers are only tools, and the kids who use them need to put in the work.
The opportunities with technology are unlimited. It's up to you as young people with Nishnawbe Aski, young people of Kingfisher, to want to learn what's being taught to you.
Kingfisher Lake Chief James Mammakwa says the computers and the connection and education they afford has a ripple effect in the entire community.
I know we had a lot of problems with suicide and other things, and now there's prescription drugs that's plaguing our communities, and we have to equip them with other things that they can, use, like computers, literacy, and the other things. And through education, I think that's one of the ways and avenues to go.
He says they're appreciative of all the help that's already come in from the Lieutenant Governor's office and the bridges that are being built to connect them to the wider world. Seeing the project close up and meeting the kids they're impacting is what makes the long trip worth it, according to Ruth Ann Onley.
Never dreamed I'd be flying north to do what we can do to continue on with the former Lieutenant Governor's mandate, and that was to help the kids up north, the Aboriginal kids, with their literacy, to improve their lives and their education. So for me personally, it's been a moment where I can step on the plane and I can fly north. David can't. David has issues with mobility. And so it's just been a special blessing for me to be able to hop on board, to go up into those communities, which are pretty rough sometimes to travel around. And so that's been my role, I think, and it's been something I didn't expect to happen.
There's still a lot of ground to cover and connections to be made. But the Nishnawbe Aski Nation is closer to the outside world than ever before. For these kids, it's a bridge to opportunity. For those who teach them, it's a bridge to hope.
Where we were not able before even to do reports, things like that online, do research online, now the kids at least have access to research. We can do research assignments with them. We have Word on computers, which that was something that we were lacking in the past.
In Kingfisher Lake, Denise Lodde, 100 Huntley Street.